Hey, welcome to Save Me From Me, where we talk about real faith for real life. My name is Roger Diaz, and we're going to be diving into a conversation that is personal, painful, and powerful: leadership. Whether you're trying to lead your family or serve in the church or even hold it together at work, leadership can feel like a weight, especially if you don't feel qualified or even supported. I've been there. I remember walking away from it all: family, ministry, work, everything, because I didn't feel like I was cut out for leadership. I'll share that story with you a little later, but first I want to walk you through 3 biblical truths that transformed how I lead. Make sure you stick with me to the end, because what God showed me might be exactly what you need right now. The first biblical truth that I've learned is leadership begins with servanthood. Matthew chapter 20, starting at verse 26, Jesus flipped the world's idea of leadership upside down. He said, "Whoever wants to become great must become a servant." Hey everyone, thank you so much for clicking on this video. Remember to like, subscribe, hit that little bell button. It'll really help this channel grow and reach so many more people that need to hear this. Also, want to let you know that this episode has been sponsored to you by Royal Wraps. Experience the royal treatment in your automotive, furniture, and customization. Feel free to give us a call at 832-833-9099 or simply go to our website at royalwrapstx.com. Now let's get back to the show. Leadership isn't about being the loudest voice in the room. It's about listening and showing up when no one else is watching. I began serving my family, not just by providing or making decisions, but by truly showing up with humility. I saw transformation. Not overnight, but real change. I had to ask myself, am I leading to be seen or am I leading to serve? Like I said, this isn't going to be easy, but if we're honest with ourselves, we can actually see true, honest change. Second biblical truth that I've learned: lead with integrity, not with image. 1 Timothy chapter 3, starting at verse 1. Paul lays out what it means to lead with godly character. He talks about being above reproach, self-controlled, and faithful. This isn't just for church elders, it's for everyone who's called to be a leader. It's a call for all leaders. There were times that I looked like a leader from the outside, but behind closed doors, I was tired, sharp-tongued, spiritually empty. Then God convicted me. Image can impress people, but integrity is what builds trust, especially in the home. Leadership at the home especially demands consistency. Our spouses, kids, and co-workers know if we're faking it. And the harsh reality is that most of the time, the only people we're really fooling is ourselves if we think we can fool those closest to us. Okay, biblical truth number 3. Learn to depend on God, not on your own strength. In Proverbs chapter 3, starting at verse 5, leadership will wear you out if you try doing it all with your own strength. I learned this the hard way. I was leading, but not leaning on God. It led to burnouts, frustration, and even silence my prayer life. Then God reminded me, trust me. Stop trying to fix everything. Bring it to me. And that changed everything. I started asking for wisdom, not just for outcomes. I started inviting God into decisions, not just problems. We have a tendency to do that. We have a tendency to just always bring problems to God, always invite him to our issues, always invite him to our situations, but we never take the time to ask God to be a part of the decision to avoid the problems that we will face later on down the road. We need to start asking for guidance, not so much for bailouts. Even though God is more than willing and his mercy is sufficient, he will bail us out of situations that we get ourselves in. But what if we start asking God to help us and guide us through those decisions so we don't always need a bailout? Thank you for sticking with me to this point of the video, because now I want to share something very personal with you. My own story. There was one night where I sat in my car outside my house. I was just too tired to come in. I'll be honest with you, I felt like a failure. I felt like a failure as a spouse, as a minister, even as a leader. I felt like I had nothing left to give. I even did the most despicable thing by walking away from my marriage. But not only my marriage, I walked away from my church and even my business. I fell into deep sin and disappointed everyone that I loved. The irony is I actually became the very thing I even preached about. I isolated myself from everyone and thought I can just learn to live with this new version of myself that I absolutely didn't love. But see, even though I gave up on God, he never gave up on me. God chased after me. Even when I gave up on myself, he never gave up on me. Since then, I have given my life over to Christ again. I remarried, and the Lord had blessed my wife and I with a beautiful baby girl. I slowly started to give my life over to Christ again. This time I knew I had to lead myself and my family differently than what I had done before. I had to make some real hard changes in my life. And the hardest thing I ever had to do is be honest with myself and ask God to expose the darkest areas in my life so I can make some real change. And it was through that brutal honesty that God used that to transform me to the person that He desired for me to be. And the important thing here to realize is this isn't a one decision, one day, and done. No, you have to wake up every single morning and make this decision for yourself every single day. And one of the scriptures that I felt the Lord really gave me that helped me was Joshua 24:15. It says, "As for me and my house, we shall serve the Lord." He didn't say lead perfectly. There isn't this expectation that we had to lead perfectly or try to fix everything, but to serve. It is this very verse that broke me and healed me at the same time. This is how you can decide today is going to be different, not with new energy, but with new surrender. And that will become your turning point in your life. Because ultimately, leadership isn't about control, it's about obedience. So today, wherever you lead, start with the servant's heart. Lead with integrity behind closed doors, and most of all, lean on God every step of the way. Hey, if this spoke to you, comment amen in the comments below, and make sure you share this with somebody who is struggling to lead well. And if you have a story or a question, I want to hear about it. I'm going to have a link below with my email, and I'll make sure to respond back to you. And in the next episode, we're going to talk about how to lead through conflict, because leadership will test your character through hard conversations. Till then, keep showing up, keep serving, and most importantly, keep trusting God. You're not serving alone. God bless.